Good evening and welcome to the May 28th, 2026 meeting of the Yorktown Zoning Board of Appeals. My name is John Meisterich. I chair the board. With me tonight, Anthony Altamari, Bill Gregory, Anthony Tripodi, Bob Fahey, and Michael Rambaran. Our town attorney is David Chen on the side, and our legal assistant is Nizreen Corey, also at the side table. Our first order of business for the meeting is to approve the minutes from our April meeting. I sent them out, unfortunately pretty recently, but sent them out. I'll make a motion to approve the April minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So if you are here, there's a bunch of what we call new business on our agenda. The dates that you need to pay attention to are up on the board. Most likely you will have a public hearing set up for June 25th here in the boardroom. If I request a site visit, that will be on Saturday, June 20th. We start around 10 o'clock in the morning in the southern part of town and work our way northwards. You may or may not have to be there. If it's something complicated, potentially maybe we'll ask if you're here, or at least mark if it's an addition or something. Just try to mark the site as best you can. Nizreen in the building department could help you with the specifics. You have to send out mailings to your neighbors between June 1st and June 10th. It's use a certificate of mailing in the post office. It's not certified mail. It's called certificate of mailing. It's much cheaper. So Nizreen can help you with this. You need to sign a picture of your sign, the certificate of mailing to each neighbor, and the copy of the notice that you sent to your neighbors. So we'll review that before the meeting, and that's when we can open the public hearing on June 25th. Okay, so moving ahead to our agenda, under new business, Perischetti. This is a renewal of an accessory apartment that requires a special use permit at 1344 Edcris Road. I will make a motion to handle this administratively, so we don't need a site visit. Refer to the building department and conduct a...
Just a question
Sure.
on this one. The plan indicates that there's an addition going on.
Okay.
And what I'm suggesting is that because of that, we may want to do a site visit. on
Sure.
this one.
I don't follow. Well, where does it say that we have an addition going on?
Somewhere in the plan.
Oh, okay.
Well, you'd have to pull up the plans.
Okay. They need do they need a variance for the addition?
It doesn't look like it.
Well, if the addition is affecting the apartment and it's not a renewal,
Right.
so did you
Is there
notice
anyone
that the
here that can
addition-
explain that?
If the apartment was in the addition?
I think it's going to be part of the,
Yeah.
Okay,
but
then that
if
would-
there's an existing, apparently there may be an existing accessory apartment now that is,
I think these are just old plans from our,
Might have been when they did it.
because the,
Is there anyone here for the application?
There's a date on
can I see the
Doesn't seem
plan?
like it.
It's April 29th, 2026.
Can I see the plan, please?
Sure. As we get an opportunity to look at it ourselves. Thank you.
There's the new addition.
It says addition for accessory dwelling.
I think it's done. I think that is the accessory apartment.
Oh, okay, so
They may have
basically it
done
was
that,
done
yeah,
before.
A long time
Yes,
ago.
it was done before. But I think it's a new owner. I don't know if it's a new owner, but they just haven't renewed it in a couple years, so they're.
Okay,
But
all
we
right.
can review it.
The plans that the architect's plan is dated like 5/15, May 2015.
Yeah,
So,
it's been,
all right,
Okay.
it's
I
already
think we're
built.
good. All right, so I will make a motion to handle this administratively, refer to the building department, and a public hearing on June 25th. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Montenegro. This is an application for a renewal of a special use permit for a chicken coop that requires a special permit at 3388 Old Yorktown Road. Okay, so you have, you've had the chickens for, what, 1 year?
1 year.
So potentially we could renew this for longer than that this
3
time.
years.
Okay, that's what we're looking for.
But,
So how did it go first time around?
Oh, it's great.
Very
More
nice.
eggs than you needed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
any issues with
Is-
anything, the neighbors?
No,
anything?
no,
just the
no.
foxes around,
Yeah.
That's
sometimes.
our main issue now.
Okay. So it's up to you guys if you think we need a site visit. It's Old Yorktown Road.
There's nothing in the file, no letters or anything, nobody's
Well,
complaining?
we'd have,
Okay.
yeah.
Right.
We don't have that now.
Do we handle it administratively?
Yeah. I think we can just handle this administratively, which means we don't have to come out and look.
Okay.
So I will refer to the building inspector. They will come and look and give us a memo and a public hearing on June 25th. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we'll see you on June 25th.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Mackenzie? This is an application for a building permit to legalize a deck that requires a variance for a rear yard setback of 7.81 feet where 10 feet is required at 2942 Manor Street. Okay, so anyone here on that? So I will make a motion to set that down for a site visit on June 20th and refer it to the building department and set it for a public hearing on June 25th. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Toomey? This is an application for a building permit to construct an addition that requires a variance for a rear yard setback of 37.9 where 40 is required at 2890 Boston Road. So I will make a motion to set this down for a site visit on June 20th, refer to the building department, and a public hearing on June 25th. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Lloyd? This is an application for a building permit to construct an addition that requires a variance for a combined yard setback of 34 feet where 40 feet is required at 2713 Larkspur Street. I will make a motion to set this down for a site visit on June 20th, refer it to the building department, and a public hearing on June 25th. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Arch. This is an application for a building permit to construct an addition that requires a variance for a side yard setback of 5 feet where 12 feet is required, and a rear yard setback of 22.4 feet where 30 feet is required at 84 Friends Road. So I will make a motion to set this down for a site visit on June 20th, refer it to the building department, and a public hearing on June 26th. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ganache?
Good luck.
This is an application for renewal of an accessory apartment that has changed ownership and requires a special permit at 124 Northmore Drive. I will make a motion to handle this administratively, refer to the building department, and a public hearing on June 26th. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Rico? This is an application for a building permit to construct an addition that requires a variance for a rear yard setback of 28.6 feet where 30 feet is required, and a maximum building lot coverage of 26% where 20% is allowed or required. This is a cluster zone for Walden Woods that was approved with a reduced setback requirement in the R120 zone. A previous setback variance was granted in 1996. So I will make a motion to set this down for a site visit on June 20th, refer to the building department, a public hearing on June 26th. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Site visit on that one.
Yeah, I did.
So that's,
Quiz fee? This is a application seeking a variance to allow a chicken coop on a lot size of 19,851 square feet, where 40,000 square feet is required by, at 2870 Foxhall Road. Is anyone here on that? Okay, so what I don't see is a
She's
special
issued
permit.
a violation for the chickens, and
Okay.
we told her that she has a really small lot size, so we weren't sure to do both together or just get the variance, because I don't know if it's gonna,
It's for the
But-
birds.
yeah.
Well, I guess in theory, you know,
I mean, we can combine them. I was
Yeah.
thinking to
Yeah,
just do-
no, combined.
I would combine them
Combine them,
because in
okay.
theory, whatever they're doing could impact,
So I will update
the,
it and
you know,
then,
the variance. And we would consider their
the size.
their adherence to the special use requirements and it, you know, as probably pertinent information on the variance. So I will set this down for a site visit on June 20th, refer to the building department, and a public hearing on June 26th. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Newman, this is an application for a renewal of an accessory apartment, 388 London Road. I'll make a motion to handle this administratively, refer to the building department, and a public hearing on June 26th. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yorktown Farm Estates. This is an application seeking a variance for a floor area ratio of .007, where .20 is allowed in an R3 zone. A site plan was approved in 1996 with 79 units and a total floor area ratio of
What is that?
.199. Applicant is seeking to add 4 additional units that will result in a floor area ratio of .207.
Someone's gonna have to explain that to me.
Yeah, we'll have to review the
do not
plans,
What
understand.
we're
obviously.
going to do, what we're going to do is refer this to the planning board.
So I have a memo from planning already, and they don't want it referred.
Huh?
I already have a memo from
Well,
them.
we're gonna refer it anyhow.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna refer it to the planning
figured.
board
Okay.
and to the building inspector and get a memo back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, just need a memo from them, not a whole,
So what are we?
Site
what-
plan.
what
So-
Are we going to do a site visit?
yeah, I'm gonna set, I don't know what's there to see.
Yeah, we can do a site visit. Actually, what it is that there are a couple of apartments that apparently have appeared where there weren't before. So what
They
I'm gonna
grew.
suggest is that at least we get out there for a site visit with the representative from the owner to point out where these apartments are.
Where the magic.
Okay, so I will make a motion to set this down for a site visit on June 20th, refer to the planning board for a memo, refer to the building inspector, and set it down for a public hearing on June 26th. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to our adjourned agenda, Yorktown Community School. Can you just state your name for the record?
Yep, my name is Mary Beth Fay. I'm the director of the Yorktown Community Nursery School.
Okay.
Your last name is Fay, F-A-Y?
F-A-Y, yes.
Do you have relatives in Yonkers?
No,
Okay, there was a Judge Fay in Yonkers years ago, very famous.
not related.
Okay, so we discussed your application a little bit last month, even though you weren't here. And we had a whole memo from the planning board,
Yes,
which I'm sure by now you've probably watched the videos or know about what they were looking for. And so what's kind of happening on this one is it's a unique situation where it's an existing structure, an existing school, an existing situation, and you're expanding the hours. So normally, a quote-unquote new special permit goes through an extensive review with the planning board. I think the planning board recognized the pre-existence of the school
yes,
and didn't necessarily care to go through a whole, entire plot plan review. You know, they did what they could, but didn't necessarily want to put you through unnecessary aggravation, I guess I would call it. And, you know, the bottom line is there really is no parking there, you know, on your site. So if it was a brand new daycare center with 0 parking, or, you know, 2-3 spots, whatever the case may be, that would be present a difficult challenge for all of us. But I think they came up with some kind of reasonable recommendations, which we can kind of take into our consideration, but not necessarily must, you know, do each and everything. And the thing was a resolution from the town board with the parking signs, you know, to say this is YCNS parking only. And I think Nazreen sent an email to the board. I don't know that the board has. I don't know if you've approached the board.
I have, yeah. So I spoke to the town supervisor's office, and they had given them also a copy of that myself,
Right.
because I wasn't sure of the process. And the secretary got back to me saying that I should go ahead, that yes, we can put no parking signs in front of the school. I sent a picture today. We
Okay.
have installed those, because back many years ago, when they had us cut back that retaining wall, there was, in words, an agreement that that was then our parking spaces, so they said we could go ahead and do that. So
Okay.
we have since installed signs that just say YCNS patrons parking only between 8 and 2 p.m., which is the time that we plan to operate till if we get the special use permit.
Okay.
And we also did a sign indicating that the driveway that we have that leads to our handicap entrance is a handicap-only parking space.
Okay.
So we've done that.
Well, that's
I've
good.
spoken to them
Yeah.
about the crosswalks,
And what was the
Yeah.
response on that?
that they were working with the highway department on that.
Cool.
So, anybody from the board have any comment on this?
No, I think we probably should.
Yeah, I mean, we
move it.
spent a lot of time discussing it last month, and I think that everything that you're saying is excellent.
I said it was cool.
So, you know, even potentially more than I necessarily expected, because I wasn't sure how the signage was going to, you know, go. So I will make a motion to grant. So the one thing I wanted to, your hours are what, going to be in 8 to 2?
8 to 2. Well, 9 to 2, but 8.
All right.
It's just the highway
well,
department. They're working with the highway department.
She's working on it. I mean, I think there is a crosswalk there.
There is a
with
crosswalk there.
bollard.
Yes,
That's
yes. The
something
planning
we'll
board
just
had
try
made
to-
recommendations for them to, like, repaint the crosswalk, fix, there is very many signs, they're just old, and so I think the town needs to replace them. It does say a school-only zone from 7, I think, to 5 is actually what their signage says, for reduced speed limit in front of that area.
And so the number of students that you have is,
44 total, but never more than 32 in one day.
Is the bollard yours? Do you put that out, or is that the town?
Well, every time I go through this, we paid for it the last time.
Okay.
Sometimes the town has paid for it, sometimes I pay for it. Yeah.
It's a joint effort.
What-
You know, it's
It
in
gets
my
safe.
best interest to make sure that there is a sign there, so,
Yep.
yes.
You said you had 44 total, but there's never more than 32? How does
Yes.
that work? Was
Yeah,
that-
yeah, because we only have 2 classrooms, and so one Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, we have 2 classes of 16 each. But Wednesday and Friday, our 2-year-olds come, and there's only 12 in that class, so it would only be the 16 and 12 those
Okay,
days. So we don't have the capacity to have all those 44 students at one time.
Okay.
So they're on they come different days.
so rather than go crazy with all of stipulations, I make a motion to grant, really with the stipulation that the hours are as testified to, that will be 8 AM to 2 PM, and that the enrollment will not change from a maximum of 32 per day.
Correct.
And I make, for a period of 3 years to grant the special permit.
Do you think there was, I'm tending to agree, but there was some concern before a possibility with the longer hours of what the traffic impact, since we didn't do a traffic study? And there could be a possibility, not that we're expecting one, but if we were to say, in this first go-around, to limit it maybe a little bit shorter than 3 years, like go a year and a half, whatever, or something to that effect? I mean, 3 years is
think-
usually after it's been established, but
I
since
think,
it's,
though, that we made the decision by virtue of the no traffic study.
that
we
we
basically
didn't
accepted
think there'd be an increase in traffic. All right, I'm just,
I mean, the traffic,
before we voted, I just
Yeah.
figured, let me throw it out. Okay,
Yeah.
cool, all right.
yeah, we did, I think you might not have been at that meeting, and we discussed that, the
Yeah.
hours go to 12 or something now? And
Yes.
so 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you know,
Really not much difference.
Yeah, like-
Yeah, okay, I got you now, all right, all right.
Well, if anything, the number of students remains the same
Yes.
over a longer period of time, so I think there'd be even less traffic impact.
All right. Well, I thought that, okay.
and it's
I wouldn't
like
argue
not
the
at
point.
lunch hour, you know,
Yeah,
so
that's
I
all right, no
think,
problem. All right, I got you. I just figured, let me.
I just want to make sure that,
Get it.
I mean, 2 o'clock's going to be it, you know, once we get into quote-unquote real hours.
Yes.
Then
I
the
understand.
parking is would become a major issue. So I'm just gonna make a motion to grant the special permit for a period of 3 years with the stipulation that the hours be confined to 8 AM to 2 PM, and the enrollment does not change from a maximum of 32 per day. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you very
you're
much.
Good to go, you're welcome. This was my copy, I think.
It's your copy.
Yeah.
There's a copy in here.
I shouldn't have written on there, but, no, this was my copy.
I don't have anything.
All right,
here.
if you don't.
Wait,
you
wait,
put
wait.
it in
No, there's nothing.
there.
in here.
Mendoza?
No, there's nothing in here.
Okay, you can put it in.
No, thanks.
Those notes don't hurt. This is adjourned from last month. It's a renewal of an accessory apartment at 1824 Hanover. And normally those are fairly straightforward. We had some memos from neighbors, and they caused us to decide to take another look at the property before we grant the permit. So I think there's a somewhat difference of opinion in terms of the the contents of the memo versus the actual grounds of the house.
I think it was a shed.
The shed, yeah.
There
and
was
the
a
shed-
shed
The
issue.
shed was
too.
granted a variance
granted.
back then,
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
several
We had given
years
approval for that shed?
Oh,
from
okay.
It's-
1986,
in
we
the
found it.
1986.
okay,
Okay,
okay.
all right.
Good.
So we
the
did
shed-
discuss the
So
shed.
the shed was
It's
the
legalized.
shed was granted a variance back in the day,
Okay.
so,
So the
I mean-
question is, did you see any issues that
well,
would stop
the on-
us from
the only thing
approving
that-
the?
The only thing that I can offer is that there seems to be an issue about the landscaping per se.
It's a polite
And
way
the
of
only
saying
thing that I can offer is the fact that there is a property maintenance ordinance that we have that addresses that issue.
Right.
So what I'm gonna suggest, for your consideration, is maybe if we grant the permit, but also refer it to the code enforcement officer to see if in fact there's any issue under the property maintenance ordinance that needs to be taken care of.
Excellent. I'll go along with that. That's a good approach.
Do you think we should grant for 1 year just to?
It's
Yeah.
been, this is a renewal,
Yeah.
so
For a long time.
it's
Yeah.
been around for a while.
Yeah,
so
but
I
the
don't-
situation isn't such that the
Well,
property isn't being maintained, and
but- but,
what's the incentive for them to do
But
it? if you
but
give it
again,
for 3
again,
years?
to the neighbor.
again,
Well,
what,
we don't have to approve that. We could refer it right now to code enforcement for a memo and not vote on the,
well, I'm
Right, also.
more inclined to grant it because basically, again, the property maintenance ordinance exists as is separate from what we're considering here.
yeah. It's a-
And the thing is that if there is a violation of that ordinance, it wouldn't be handled by us anyway.
Right. And,
Yeah,
and
It's
the,
done, it's done by the code
the
enforcement.
apartment
company.
is not,
So
Oh,
wouldn't the
the
building
apartment-
department alert that to us when they came up time for
I'm
renewal?
sorry?
Wouldn't the building department make us aware of that violation in the event that
If-
it came up for renewal?
If it was a violation, but maybe they need to take a closer look at it from a different perspective. What they gave us was a memo on the accessory apartment. The neighbor has some issues in terms of the landscaping.
Hmm.
That was based on the memos, the letter. I want to recognize the neighbor's concern, but I also want to recognize that we're talking about the renewal of an accessory apartment. And because there are two different issues here that can be handled separately, I'm thinking, from my perspective, that the zoning board handle what they need to handle.
right, and the apartment itself isn't, the driving force behind whatever potential code,
Exactly.
code violations.
If it's a code violation of another ordinance, the accessory apartment really doesn't affect it.
Yeah. So I will make a motion to approve the renewal of the accessory apartment at 1824 Hanover Street with the stipulation that we will refer this to the code enforcement officer to evaluate any violations to the Yorktown property maintenance codes.
Mhm.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
No,
No?
no.
Okay. So we have we have 4 aye votes and 1 nay. To capture that. Okay. The 4-1 does pass the motion. So now we're moving on to our public hearings for tonight. Lumi, this is a renewal. We'll come back to it. Cronin, this is an application for an addition to create a new accessory dwelling unit that requires a special use permit at 1597 Sylvan Road. So if you don't mind stating your name for the record.
James Cronin. It's 1592 Sylvan Road.
So
1592?
Yeah.
let me, I'm gonna write it here,
Sorry.
which, yeah,
It looks like a 7 on the application.
we have to just somehow
I'll
get
put-
it right when we, all right. Once we do the decision, it'll be on the
that'll be
right.
correct.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we'll pick it up. Thank you for pointing that out, though, because we could have possibly granted your neighbor a special use permit.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to just describe the project briefly, if you can?
Well, it's just about 1,000 square foot addition to the back side of the house. Got the in-laws moving in.
Okay.
The spare bedroom's just not enough anymore, so
So
that's
the-
pretty much
yeah.
it. I've talked to my neighbor on the right
Where's-
side. I'm sorry?
Where's the entrance to the apartment, like when you walk in?
It's like right where that arrow is, where it says proposed 1-story.
Mhm.
Yeah, right where you just had the cursor.
Okay.
Right there, yeah.
Okay.
Basically, the driveway looks pretty big.
Yeah, so the driveway would just extend probably a little bit.
Okay.
So you're gonna put separate heat in there for the from
Sorry?
You're gonna put separate heat in there for the New Mexico people?
Okay, so I have a memo from our building inspector, Steve Frayetta, dated May 26th. Application for a special permit for accessory apartment per section 338 of the town zoning code. The property is in the R120 zoning district. The applicant will be constructing a new addition to create the accessory apartment. Plans indicate compliance with 300-38. The application will require a building permit and a certificate of occupancy once construction is complete. Okay, no other memos. So, I will make does the board have anything to say about this?
We did a site
Yeah.
visit last week, and there was no problems with what we saw.
Yeah, just looking at the plan, the parking looks fine,
Very
everything looks
straightforward.
fine, yeah. So I'll make a motion to grant the special permit for the accessory dwelling unit at 1592 Sylvan Road for a period of 3 years, with the stipulation that you'll need a building permit and a certificate of occupancy to occupy the accessory dwelling unit. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So from our perspective, you're good. So you still have to get the permits and all that.
Okay,
All right?
great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good luck with that.
Sanzi? This is an application requesting a building permit for an addition that is seeking variances for side yard setback of, these are mine.
Okay. Don't know if this is part of the file or not. No problem. Leave it
That's
there,
all
leave it
right,
there,
yeah.
leave it. This is one now.
This is Sanzi, side yard setback of 12.1 feet where 15 is required, and a combined side yard setback of 31.9 feet where 40 feet is required at 2832 Meadowcrest Road. So can you just state your name for the record?
Marco Sanzi.
So you want to just describe what you're doing, if you can, briefly?
Yeah, so left side going out 5 feet, making my children's rooms a little bit bigger. My kids are getting older, you know, we're running out
Okay.
of space. Right side, we're going to add an extra bedroom. My wife and I are going to try for another child. I don't have the space anymore in the house, so it's the only other way I can go. You know, the way that my house is constructed, it's weird. If I was to change the layout, I would have to rip the house down. It's 5 floors. You know, I only have left and right to go. So that's what we're working on here. You know.
Okay. So I'm going to see if there's any memos in here.
Yeah, you have one from
Yeah.
Steve.
So I have a memo from Steve Frayetta, the building inspector, I think came by. It's an application for the building permit, seeking the variances I just described. He's inspected the property on May 26 and found the following violations. A swimming pool has an open electrical permit and building permit from 2024 that is expired with no final inspections. A chicken coop that has no special permit and does not meet the 40,000 square feet of property nor the 30-foot setback of side and rear lot lines. Once these violations are addressed, the application for the building permit for the addition, if approved, will require a building permit and a certificate of occupancy. Okay, so I don't know if this is new info for you, what the plan?
Hey, I didn't know about the electrical permit. I know I renewed my engineering due to the dry wells. So what we're going to do is I'm adding dry wells for my increased impervious surface. Being that the backyard is finished, I spoke to engineering about potentially adding the dry wells for my pool into one connection with the new ones, which they said it would be okay as long as I renewed the permit.
Okay.
So that's fine. So I renewed that. I didn't know about the electric.
Yeah.
Did you get a final on the,
After I was done, yeah.
so you do have a certificate of occupancy for the pool?
No.
I don't. No, I don't have a CO for the pool
Okay,
yet. They
because
came by
once-
when we were done.
Once it's done, then you have to get that.
Okay.
I mean, he's not planning, I guess, from the memo to issue a building permit
You had a
unless these
electrical-
things
We do
are.
need a
you got-
certificate first.
Oh, that's no problem.
So that,
Electrical dump, yeah.
I may say something about it, but it's not really like, the variance that you're seeking. It's just something that you will have to do
And
to
is-
get it,
Of course.
to get a permit.
Do you have a chicken coop there?
I do. Yeah, it was
You
a
had
shed.
Do you have a
I do,
chicken?
yeah.
You have
Chicken?
chickens?
Yeah, I have a few, yeah.
Got
It was a
roosters.
shed that was there that I made into a
It's
chicken
got
coop.
Okay, because one of the things that you have to be aware of is you're gonna have to come back to us
Okay,
and make an application to have that.
okay.
There's
That's fine.
certain regulations, and is unfortunately, one of the things that they have in the regulation is that the minimum size of a lot
hmm
for somebody to have chickens is 40,000 square feet.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
so that would.
Well, here's a question. In the interest of appeasing everything, what if I just get rid of it altogether? Because I have a farm that I could bring then. I'm really tired of taking care of them.
If you eliminate the chickens in the shed, then that goes away.
I'll take care of that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that that's your best bet, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it could delay.
I don't wanna delay anything.
tonight. So, anyone in the audience have anything? Nope. So I will make a motion. Anyone from the board, any other?
Mhm.
Yeah, I reviewed the plans. It doesn't look too much of an impact to the neighborhood. And agree that there's not a lot of options for you as far as expanding the property.
You're on sewer there, right? Town sewer?
So, town sewer, yeah.
So I will make a motion to approve the variances for a side yard of 12.1 where 15 is required, and the two combined side yard setbacks of 31.9 where 40 is required, with the stipulation that the chicken coop will be removed and that the pool will be, will get a CO as well. And that that the addition be built in substantial conformity to the plans that you've submitted.
Of course.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So from our point of view, you're good to go.
Thank
but
you.
You have to work with the building.
I appreciate it very much.
Okay. Pasantes or Deptula? I think it's Pasantes is the applicant. This is an application for a building permit to install a ground-mounted solar system where the applicant is seeking a variance for lot size of 1.71 acres where 2 acres is required per the town zoning code at 3611 Gomer Street. Can you just state your name for the record, whoever's going to speak? And
My name is Manuel Pesantes.
okay, so can you just tell us what you're doing? A little bit, just a description. That's fine. Just state your name for the
Felix
record.
Reyes. We're looking to do a ground mount on his house. It's, I believe, 2 acres that you guys require.
Right.
And it's 3/10 short shy of the requirement.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna, see if there's any memos in
I
here.
don't see anything. Here, take a look. I'll go through. I saw the original denial from the building department.
Steve,
I don't see anything.
Is there another memo?
Steve did one, yeah.
Yeah, Steve? Any from the, there is something from the public.
Well, we
there.
never referred
There's
it.
something from Steve.
All right,
I didn't see that.
so I have a memo from our building inspector. He must have come visit on May 26th. This is an application for a permit to install the ground-mounted solar, as I described the variance. I visited the property and found an above-ground swimming pool with a wood deck construction that will require a building permit. Once these violations are addressed, the current application will require a building permit, certificate of compliance. I have a memo from, an email from Dina Tompkins. I'm writing to express my strong opposition to the solar farm that will border my property at 3639 Gomer Street. Besides the obvious visual obscenity of these monstrosities, the insult to the flora and fauna of that undisturbed natural sanctuary would be beyond measure. I support the idea that Yorktown is a growing town and progress is important and inevitable. However, once these natural and beautiful areas are gone, they never return. The once charming Yorktown village has dissolved into an austere, sterile, unwelcoming place devoid of inspiration. I am a fourth-generation Yorktown resident and would like to continue living here. Please do not rush to install these harbingers of a dying town before closely considering what we are about to lose. Thank you for your consideration, the Tompkins family. Okay.
Any memos from the planning board?
So I want to ask about the plan, so.
Okay.
Does the planning
So-
board have to do a
so let-
special
let's-
permit?
Let's go through the ordinance, okay? the ordinance that basically was written back in 2020, which was recently revised, gives the authority for ground-mounted, small solar panels to the planning board, not to the zoning board.
Here, if you want.
Okay? As a matter of fact, when we were out on the site visit, I believe I gave you a copy of the ordinance and advised you to contact the people that are working with you to give it to them and have them look at it. So the first thing that we're gonna have to do, in my estimation, is basically adjourn this meeting, because it's not our authority to grant this permit for you to place it. You're gonna have to go to the planning board. I would suggest that you contact the planning department in the near future and have them explain to you what's gonna be involved in you applying for a special permit for this particular project. There are a couple of things that you probably should be aware of, okay? Based on the plan that you submitted, the ordinance requires a 30-foot setback for the panels. Your plan is showing 28 feet. So right away, it kind of is a little bit off. The other thing is that the panels cannot be any higher than 10 feet. The plan didn't indicate the height of the panel at all, but that's just a note that I want you to know of. It requires coverage of no more than 50% with all the structures on the property, so you're gonna have to submit that as well. And the other thing is the variance for the 2 acres, okay? What I'm gonna suggest is
What is that again, Billy?
2
Variance
acres.
For 2 acres, okay.
2 acres. So what I'm gonna suggest is what we're going to do, I hope, is adjourn this, because it's gotta go through the planning board first. They're going to ask you for a lot of information, and they're gonna have some public hearings on it. If they in fact agree that this is a good project, then you may have to come back to us for variances. One that we know of is obviously the size of the lots. But before we get to that point, we have to have the planning board be on board to say that this project is viable. They are the ones that grant the special permit. Okay?
So planning board first, then come back.
Planning
Yeah.
board
Yeah.
first and then us.
When we do a variance, one of the main things we do is to say that you must build it in substantial conformity to the plans.
Right.
And when you go to the planning board, they may ask for changes. So if we were to even hypothetically grant a variance tonight, the chances of it being, valid are very small, because the planning board
Would have to
may
prove it
make a
first.
change or two. And so that's why we say, go to the planning board, which is required, like, to get a special permit for this. That's right here in the code. You can pull that up on the internet, but, it's considered a small system, so.
Did you get a copy of that ordinance that I gave him?
No, that wasn't me.
I know, I gave it to him.
Yes, I sent to ¿cómo se llama? La compañía de ustedes.
Joey, my
Yeah.
manager?
All right, so then basically you have a copy of the ordinance. And if you,
The ordinance
If-
does spell everything out. It
Yeah,
basically
if they
says you
kind-
need a special permit from
It-
the planning board.
it defines basically the type of thing that you want to put in, and it enumerates the requirements. So what I'm going to suggest that you do is, even before you contact the planning board, you go over that with the property owner, so that you kind of know what you have to do when you make the submission.
So the planning board would tell us about the deck and the pool you guys mentioned?
No, that's a
No,
separate.
that's it, the pool deck.
That's a separate issue.
That's a separate issue.
It's a sidebar.
And it's something that obviously, if there is a pool or a deck that was built without a permit, at some point, whether the thing continues or not, will have to be
Well,
addressed.
I don't think the building department will issue any permits until you close out the pool permits, and that's what they're telling us in that memo.
But that's something,
is a
that's
complete-
something that you
So I'm a
can,
little confused at this point. I know we're gonna send this over to the planning board. The planning board, basically, it's their baby, they
Yeah.
can do what they want with it. So why would we, if they were to say this was okay, even though it's a substandard lot, and they were somehow to approve those plans, what would they need us for on an area variance? What, to rubber stamp it?
they would have to grant, we would have to grant a variance.
But why? They've already, if they
No,
approve
no,
it, then why
no,
do we
they-
need us?
They can't approve it unless it complies with the standard. We, as the zoning board, can adjust the standard.
I don't get it. I don't understand how that works. I
I'll-
really
I'll-
don't understand how that
I'll-
works.
I'll-
They're calling all the shots, and they're gonna say, hey, this looks right, this doesn't look
Because-
right. But
because-
then they gotta come back
because-
to us to rubber stamp
Because
it.
the only person that can vary the ordinance is the zoning board.
Okay.
Okay?
So it's a little,
The planning board, if
Yeah.
I may, the planning board just doesn't have the legal authority to grant a variance. They can approve everything else, but as far as,
So like I said, if they go through and they say, oh, this is a viable project, we just don't have the right area, it's kind of basically giving it back to us for a rubber stamp, is that what it is?
not, I wouldn't say rubber stamp, it's two separate inquiries.
Yeah.
Substantial.
It's, all right, I mean,
I mean,
I don't see how we would have an argument to say, that we wouldn't grant an area variance if everything else has already been approved by the planning board.
Well, because the planning board isn't considering the five statutory factors that you guys are, that's your.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, there is always a risk to an applicant that they could go through the process with the planning board, and at the end of the process, they come back to us and we deny the variance. And unfortunately, I don't have a good solution for that because, as I was saying earlier, even if we granted a variance today and said it was in substantial conformity to the plans,
Still has to go through.
the plans don't exist really to the level that they're going to exist with a special permit.
Mhm.
So, in theory, this does put
I
the applicant at it,
I
yeah.
get the catch-22 situation.
It's a catch-22.
It's basically, I understand that. I just thought that at the moment that the planning board goes through and it says, oh, yeah, everything, this is great, now you gotta go back to the zoning board for a rubber stamp.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't, yeah, I agree,
I
it's
mean,
not a
kinda-
rubber stamp.
I'm sorry, I don't know how you look at it any other way.
Well-
It's,
I mean, how you gonna say no?
well, you
we
could.
have to
Well-
Yeah, okay, all right.
You
all right.
could.
I will, before we even adjourn it, I will ask for comments. Is anyone in the audience here to talk about this application? Yes?
Come
Okay,
on
so we're gonna ask for your public comments at this time. If you want to, you don't have to, it's totally up to you. You could hear what we're talking about, basically, is to send the applicant to the planning board. And in that case, they'll go through and work with the planning board to satisfy the requirements of a special use permit for this type of activity, at which time they would come back to us, where we would debate and deliberate on the variance. As Mr. Fahey has been saying, it's kind of a catch-22, where we can't grant a variance tonight because we don't really have a plan. Now they're gonna spend time and effort working on a plan and come back to us, and it becomes a little difficult for us to, it becomes difficult. It would be easier in a sense if we could do it, but we can't. So anyway, that's basically the procedure that they'll go through with the planning board and then come back to us. It could be next month, it could be 2 months, 3 months. I'm not sure how long it would take them.
To address Bob's concern, you're going to need two wins. One before the planning board. You got to get that special permit approved, but it'll be subject to needing the variance from this board for the square footage. So it's going to be first the win at the planning board and secondly a win here at the zoning board. And we do have discretion when it comes forward, and we'll weigh and consider, apply the usual factors to that decision at that point in time.
Understood.
And as Bill also pointed out, there was a setback that I guess the building
You know,
inspector
and,
didn't
and,
flag.
and again,
Planning
a
department.
lot of this stuff is gonna be,
They'll flag all that.
reviewed by the planning board. They may say that it looks like it could be in a different spot, and, so we'll go from there.
Are there any other objections from any of the neighbors?
I don't have them in the,
This,
I'm just interested in what it's gonna look like and what are are they like regular solar panels that you see out on the streets?
if you don't mind coming up, because
Yeah,
the
yeah, we
meeting,
gotta-
you know, you can ask, and we have some,
Get more insight
we
on
have
that.
some renderings here that you might be interested in looking at.
yeah, take a look at that picture. That gives you an idea of what the panels look like.
These, the dark, the ones?
Yeah,
with
the
color?
black, they're like the playing
And-
cards.
And there's
The
another,
black ones.
So they're gonna go on the side of your property?
Yeah, they're gonna go right behind the pool. Typically, they start from 3 feet off the ground, and they're 48 inches width size, so 48 times 4, roughly about 2, 4, 6, about 8 feet tall, or 8 feet wide, and they're usually about at a 30 tilt, so kind of similar to this, to the tilt of the
there's
city.
Is the number of panels you showing there correct?
I believe so. 40. It's
They're
4 by
They're
10.
8 feet wide?
68 inches in length, 40.
What, say again, what did you say?
They're usually 68 by, they vary from 36 inches to 42 inches in width.
Nazarene,
But they always,
there's a
they're always typically 68
cross-section
inches in tall.
plan in there.
How many rows did you
The
count?
elevation?
Yeah, right there.
Eight way this way, five.
Move it up a little bit.
There's 29,
There, on the corner.
looks like it's 17,
72.
So 182 inches total.
yeah,
so-
65 feet 9 inches by 17 feet 3.5
Right.
inches. Yeah. So,
Can I see that plan?
yeah.
They're
So
on the
just
three
from
sides are pretty much hidden.
what we were what we were talking about, this could change
There's 5 here.
from the planning board. And what the planning board's going to make sure is that the code is adhered to, and that includes screening
It's 5 is 40.
the structure from all property lines and all the setbacks and everything. So, you know, I mean, this is kind of what the plan is today, but the planning board will go through in great detail to improve or make it as harmonious
68 inches.
as possible with the existing neighborhood. That's basically their function. You know, the planning board's function is to,
Says right here,
Have any
45.
trees been removed, or do you need to remove any trees?
So there's a heat map. That would be more engineering
at
department
65
on our
feet,
end.
9
I believe they
inches.
already did a heat map,
Does
so
that say?
they already put the solar panels
19
according
feet?
to where you would get the best heat with little to no shading.
Without removing trees, or?
I'm not too sure on that, and sometimes some trees do need to be removed.
And is there any way that you could mount those on the roof or on the building in a way that you could reduce the number that would be exposed on the ground?
I believe so, but that would be up to the, that would be up to,
Can you just-
sorry.
yeah.
I believe so, but that would be up to the homeowner's discrepancy if he wants panels on
Well, how
his
to
actual
yeah,
roof.
yeah, but I mean, if there's room to wiggle, if you have to wiggle.
So
then,
you're saying
well,
put some on the roof so it's not as big on the ground?
And that's a little bit different. The requirements for roof-mounted versus ground-mounted are a little
Right.
bit different. And so you might be able to accommodate what you want to do by varying what's on the roof and what's on the ground.
Okay, I understand.
All right,
It's,
can't
there are
guarantee it, but
There
that's-
there are things that you'll discuss with the planning board.
Okay, perfect. So planning board's first before anything.
Planning board's
Definitely
first
planning
before
board.
anything
And
else.
if they hit me with like the blockade, I guess, of
See these?
getting the 2-acre zonage, do I tell them that I already came to the meeting, or?
Well, what you're gonna do is basically, and they'll probably know it anyhow, but you can tell them that you've been before the zoning board
Okay,
and that we have adjourned this
okay.
pending their review and your agreement in
Exactly.
terms of an installation.
Got it.
That's the way of doing it.
Perfect.
yeah, basically just tell them you have a hearing open with us and
When you're ready,
Well-
put it in the file.
Yeah, it's gonna, the hearing is basically gonna remain open.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so I will make a motion to adjourn this application till the May, and refer the applicant to the planning board as we discussed,
We'll just keep it open.
and we'll keep our meeting adjourned until the next meeting, which is June 26th. So we may adjourn it then, or we may have something more to talk about. I don't know.
We may be carrying it for a while.
Yeah. Do I have a second?
Second.
What,
Go ahead.
all in favor? Go ahead.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
But what you may want to do
Aye.
is, during the process, if in fact you're not finished with the planning board in June,
Is there a
just
of the
send a
the
quick
ordinance
note
in the
to the
file?
building
I mean, that's
department
mine. I can throw it in there if
requesting
you
that
want.
this
Just
thing
print
be
it out.
held over,
Okay.
so you don't have to show up here again
Right, so I can get moved on.
in June, so you can continue to move on with the
Put that
plan,
in a
Perfect,
file.
thank you so much.
okay?
What do you think?
You guys,
Yeah, that's fine. I look at,
is that it, or?
that's it for you
That's
for
it.
tonight. Thank you
Yeah,
very
All
much.
right, thanks a lot.
You guys did you actually record the vote?
We voted to adjourn it to
Okay.
the next
Yeah.
meeting.
No, we voted in
There's
favor.
a few lagging eyes. I see. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
One more loony.
Have a good night.
Now, could they go to planning when that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got to do.
So we have one renewal at
The
Lumi.
planning will put conditions on it. One of the conditions will be that we get it back.
Okay, this is an application for renewal of an
See how they work
accessory
it in.
apartment at 2226 Crom Pond Road.
Where's this?
Read any memos?
Oh, we're coming back to it.
There's pictures. I have a memo from Steve Frayetta from May 26, application for the renewal. He's inspected the property on May 14th and found no violations, no objections to granting the renewal for the special permit. So I will make a motion to approve the renewal of the special permit for the accessory apartment at 2226 Crom Pond Road for a period of 3 years. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that's granted. That was it, right?
That's it.
Okay, so that concludes our meeting for May 28th, 2026. Good night and happy zoning.